Hi everyone, welcome back to another scrapbook layout video, and thanks for joining me again today. Again, I am using the Winter Wonderland collection by Doodlebug. I am in love with this collection. I got quite a few layouts scrapbook this weekend, so I'm working on my voiceovers today so that you guys will have plenty of videos coming. Yay! I love this. First of all, I got 19 photos on this layout, and that makes me happy. I think I mentioned in one of my other videos so far that I like to take a lot of pictures in the snow because we don't get snow very often. So I definitely have a lot of pictures. And I was in between making the layouts that you've already seen and these layouts. I organized some photos, and I will have a video coming about that. I was asked to revisit my photo organization system, so that will be coming soon. And while I was doing that, I found some more snow photos. So I can't remember if these are from the same year as the ones I already scrapbooked or if these are another year. But out of all the photos, since I had so many, I decided to take some and kind of divide them by kid instead of just doing, usually, you know, I'll group a bunch of photos together. I'm not worried about each child having their own scrapbook. I do have their school scrapbooks, which will include things like soccer, if they played soccer, or, you know, their proms or dances, or like my daughter was in drama club for, you know, a year, and then she was color guard. So I have their own separate albums for all of that stuff. But as far as for everything else, I figure I'm going to have enough layouts, hopefully, by the time I'm either done doing it or I unfortunately pass away or something. I'm going to have plenty of layouts. So if they can't choose, then they can take photos and print them up separately. So that I don't feel like each kid needs a copy of each layout, but that's totally fine. I know a lot of people do that. So, you know, no worries if you like to do that. That's just not how I work. But when it comes to a time like this, I do have a bunch of photos of each kid in the snow. So I decided to go ahead and divide them. And I don't know if I'll do each kid with this collection or not. I'm not going to worry about that at this point. So first off, I was following a sketch by Scrapbook Generation, and I cut these pictures before when I was doing the other layouts. I cut down all 19 of these pictures to follow the sketch, and when I went to scrapbook them, which was like, you know, it's been a good week or so in between the two times, I realized, oh my gosh, I didn't cut these photos right at all. It was not, I'm basically not following the sketch anymore because I cut them so wrong. So now what I'm doing here, so I kind of made up my own, and you will see in a minute here, I'm going to pull, when I go to glue the photos down on the other side, I grabbed my phone because I actually took a picture so I wouldn't forget how I had them laid out. So you can tell already that I messed up a little bit because I wanted there to be a little space between the pattern papers and the very right hand side of the page. But I totally glued down everything and forgot to add in these photos, these little 2x2 photos. And I like these little 2x2 ones. This is, again, not how they had them on the sketch at all. This is nothing like what she did. And so I'm going to glue all of these down along this side. And instead of tearing all the paper up from having it already glued down and tearing up the photos or anything along there, I decided just to leave them on there and cut the cardstock. So it's right now, the ones that I have glued together that you're going to see me glue down now, this strip here is all layered already onto a piece of white cardstock. And like I mentioned, I didn't want it to go all the way to the edge. I wanted just a little space because of the way I cut the photos, or the pattern papers on the left-hand side. There's going to be a little space between the pattern papers and the very edge of the layout, so you will see some of the white cardstock. So I wanted it to be the same on both the left and right hand side, so I just trimmed it up a little, and luckily it works out. It's a little bit annoying because now that there's an extra layer of cardstock behind some of, you know, behind the There's an extra layer of cardstock behind the 4x4 photos and all the pattern papers, but not the row of 2x2 photos. So it kind of, the 4x4 photos in the pattern paper are raised a little bit, and the 2x2 photos are a little flatter. So I thought to help kind of combat that, I decided to pull out some of my peel-offs. I love these peel-offs. These are so much fun to use, and they can just add this little tiny, oh, sorry, I hope you didn't hear that. My computer's barking at me. It just adds a little something neat. I really enjoy these. I have not seen a sale on them. Again, I will let you guys know if I do, if I can get you a video in time, but for now, I really, really love. And there is a link below to be able to purchase these if you wish to, if you don't care about paying for shipping. So it kind of, I added this silver. These are the silver, I believe these are the straight peel-offs because they're all the same thickness. And so I added the silver and I kind of put it over both the photo and the pattern paper to kind of help ease the little lift between the two, if that makes any sense. And this pattern paper here you might recognize. It was the glitter one, so you might notice me adding some wet glue also on this pattern paper. And yes, look at me, even though I love that glitter paper, I thought about saving it, but I didn't, because I'm like, you know what, I really like this blue, and this blue will go so much better with the pictures. And so I used that very beautiful glittery side, even though you won't see any of it. But I know also that I have it on other layouts, and so I'm not going to worry about it. And it really goes with the photos. So because these are photos of my son, he is wearing this darker green and black jacket. But when you see this layout in the end, you don't even pay attention really, at least I don't. You don't notice the dark green jacket or anything like that, or that the photos aren't completely matching. Everything still flows together really well, I think. So let me know what you think of the finished layout and how the photos. So don't worry about if your photos completely match everything. Yes, it really can help sometimes if your photos match your papers really well. You can have some great layouts, but you don't always have to have them match completely. So I just want you to think about that, and just wanted to point that out with these layouts, because I think I did the same thing with the other layouts, is that their clothes didn't match hardly at all. So my other son, I do have a stack of photos to scrap of him in the snow, and he's wearing like an orangish coat. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to do those or not, but we'll see. So I have not scrapbooked that yet anyways. Now I'm laying the photos down how I had them planned, and I'm going to pull over my phone now so you can see that I took a picture, and I'm really glad I took a picture of how I had them, because for a minute I was like, okay, what do I do? And it works out, you know, even though I didn't follow a sketch, I kind of followed the sketch when it came to the pattern paper, but I just took a little bit of inspiration. I didn't cut it to the same sizes or anything like that. I just knew I liked how they had the main paper, so you can see the blue is kind of continuous across the page, and then there's the darker blue, and then there's that plaid, which I was so happy to use that plaid because I feel like it's a really pretty color and it goes well. So this layout, even though there's lots of pinks and purples in this collection, I'm going to stick mostly to the teals, the blues, and a slight bit of purple. I'm going to throw some purple in there. So you can see the photos on there now. He's even got a yellow hat on underneath. And even though he's got the green and the yellow, and those are not any of the colors on the photo, or I mean, excuse me, of the pattern papers, it still is going to work out. So right there, I was just taking off that peel off part that goes under the photo here. I forgot that I was going to put a couple more photos over here, and I could have left the peel off. I wasn't necessarily taking it up because I wanted to save it. It was more that it kind of lifted those photos even higher, because remember that cardstock or that pattern paper is already lifted up a little bit. So I'm going to work on my title here and my clusters. I have to say, Doodlebug has been making these sticker sheets the same way for so long. I'm kind of like getting a little bored of them. I know you didn't hear me say that, right? I struggle to use these same things all the time. I really like this one that says all Yeti for winter, and I thought that it would go really cute with these photos of my son, because these are just a bunch of, he really loves the snow, and if he loves to do nothing else but eat the snow, he would be fine. He could eat snow all day long. And my favorite photo of this layout is probably that middle 4x4 one, because if you look closely at it, his face just looks so cold and everything. Oh, I want to mention really quick, this Yeti, I have to say, I showed it to you guys because I would love for your opinion. Now, I've asked a few other people, but they made that Yeti kind of leaning over a little weird like. My husband says maybe they just want him to look like he's walking in a cool way or something. I've gotten maybe just that's how Yetis walk. I've gotten a few different opinions, but I'd like to know your opinion on why they made him kind of bending over like that. So maybe it's just cute. I don't know. I could probably, I think it'd be cuter maybe if he wasn't leaning over so much, but I make him work. So, but I decided, because I had that all Yeti for winter, I was going to go ahead and stick with the whole Yeti theme on this layout, because, you know, my son, and it's really cute. It goes with the blues of the layout. There was these little footprints that were, I think, supposed to be the Yeti footprints. So I'm just going to put them over here on their own on the very left-hand side. You might have seen me do that. And I thought about adding some trees around, but I'm kind of down to, I think I had only, to add a tree in each cluster area, I would have had to use a purple one, and it was kind of a darker purple, and I really didn't want to pull that one in. So I'm just looking around at all the stickers. I struggled with this layout. It is not, I like this layout. I'm totally happy with the way this layout turned out. It's not very embellished, which again, it doesn't really have to be, I don't think at all. It's just, it was a struggle. Let's just put it that way to get it the way that I want. But you're going to see the clusters are super simple clusters, and there's hardly anything to it. But I think that is actually good in the end, because there's so many photos. So you don't focus so much on the clusters, you focus more on the photos. And I'm just looking around and playing around here. It was a little bit more limiting, I think, because I didn't want to, I'm not afraid to use pink on a boy layout at all. In fact, I'm using purple on this one. So that wasn't bothering me. I just didn't really want to pull in the pink aspect, because there's really no pink in the pattern papers. Definitely no pink in the photos. So I didn't really want to have to figure out a way to incorporate pink all over the layout. If I added it in, it would have looked really funny if I wouldn't have spread it all over the entire layout. So that is why I'm a little bit more limited, because you can probably see that I have a lot of the pink left. If you saw the my little sheets with the die cuts on them. So I'm going to talk about this snowflake pack. I love it. If I had to do it again, I probably wouldn't buy the snowflake pack. I don't mind the snowflake pack, but there's so many. There's so many in here, which is good, because I am going to take some of these, and I will even use some of the more flowery looking ones, and I'm thinking I can put those in with a different collection, like their spring or whatever ones have the purple colors and the blue colors and the pink. And the other snowflake ones, I do have other winter collections by Doodlebug that they will work just fine with, but there's so many. I was thinking I probably would have been better off just to use a die cut or a punch to make my own snowflakes, and saved a few dollars and called it good. So if you make a lot of cards, though, those snowflakes will go a very long way. But I'm kind of like, I probably didn't need this many snowflakes, although they're pretty, and I've made quite a few pretty layouts with them, so I have used them, and I will still use them in the future, even if it ends up on cards at the very end, or, you know, I'll also use them in my daily life pages at the very end as well. I'm not there yet. It'll be a while before I'm there, but I definitely got a lot for this collection, and yeah, I probably didn't need as much. I also want you guys to notice as I do this layout, I didn't use any foam tape. I just wasn't in the mood. I didn't need any foam tape. I didn't want to use it, and it works out just fine. I think the layout turns out great, even without the foam tape. So now you can see that I've basically stuck with the little Yeti theme. There's the funny art, all Yeti for winter phrase, and I can't read what that one says, up to snow good or something. Oh, that one I think I wanted to put on there just to kind of go for my son's page, just to be funny. And there's another one that says something another about Yeti, something else. So I just kind of had fun with the whole Yeti thing on this layout for him. And we actually call him the Humble Bumble in my family. I think we get that from the Rudolph cartoon, you know, that we older people watched all the time in Christmas. It was like this great thing for it to come on, and nowadays it's just, we don't even get normal channels on our TV because we don't even pay for them because we don't watch enough TV. So so it's nice to play around with that. And I'm not going to add a title. My title is basically the All Yeti for Winter. And so I'm just playing around. I do add quite a few snowflakes to the very left-hand side here. I really like the way they flowed on this left-hand side, but I couldn't get it to work as well on the right-hand side. So the clusters aren't the greatest maybe in this layout, but I don't care. I like the way the layout turns out anyway, and I was glad to use up my, you know, some more of the stash and to get some of those Yetis used up. After I ordered this, I was a little worried how I would use this collection because there was so much like ski stuff and all kinds of things like that, and we don't go skiing, so I was worried I'd be able to use them, but I'm actually getting it used, so that makes me really happy. Here is a couple close-up photos. I hope you guys like the video, and again, 19 photos, you can't go wrong there. So if you have a lot of photos, break them out and you can scrap lift this layout if you would like. Otherwise, I hope you had a great day, and thank you for watching the video. Please hit the like and subscribe button. See you next time. Bye.